The victim mentality is ruining your life. See, you're gonna get anywhere with the victimhood mentality. It's not helping you out at all. It's actually holding you back. The victim mentality, it's where it's really the lack of it's the ability to refuse to take self accountability, right? So, and like if you have this kind of mindset, like you're never gonna go far in life at all, right? Like I was literally just having a conversation with a friend about this like 2 hours ago. Like you will literally not go anywhere with the victim mentality because when you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them, right? Like why would you want to fight for your limitations? Like we all have these excuses, these limitations that we hold so dear to us. We start to say things like, oh, because I'm black, like I have less of an opportunity than this and that, or I don't have good genetics, I don't have a chance at getting jacked, or or I'm just not really good at math, or I'm not a good student, I didn't get good grades in high school, so therefore I don't have what it takes to go to whatever it is. Like you have to stop using these excuses. You can't let these excuses define you. As soon as you let these excuses define you, it's game over. Right? Like from my personal experience, like with through these bugs out here, my personal experience with like victim mentality stuff is like, back when I was in high school and even in my some of my university days, I would find like, I find myself blaming like blaming the teacher for why I wasn't doing as well. Or like, yeah, I literally blame the teacher for why I wasn't doing as well in my courses, but really it was my fault. I wasn't studying. I wasn't putting in the hours to see the GPA that I wanted. Right? Once I realized that, I took some self accountability. I was able to fix it. Right? Like even with the gym, like you got to take some self accountability. Like, why are you not jacked? Are you going to the gym? Are you consistent? Are you doing the right workouts? Are you training hard enough? Are you eating enough protein? Or are you blaming your genetics? These are the questions you got to ask yourself. What excuses, where are you shifting the blame? Because when I feel like once you are able to take like full accountability, like that's when you have full control over your life. Because if you don't take accountability, you're kind of screwed. Like you might as well not even try. Like it's such a loser, it's such a loser way of thinking. Like the victim mentality. Why would you want to have? And it's crazy. Like a lot of people will take pride in being like a victim, having like a victim mindset. Like they really like enjoy it. Like it's really something that they wear like a badge of honor. Like yeah. Like I'd have less of like that's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like why would you pride yourself for that? It's so odd to me. I never understood it. Like why would you want to like live your entire existence being a loser? There's nothing enlightening. Like I'm always saying at the end of my videos, there's nothing enlightening about playing small. That's some loser shit. Like there's nothing cool about it. Like there's a TV show I was watching on Netflix the other day. It's called Cobra Kai. If you know, you know. And there's a character on that show. He is the perfect example of like what you should not be. Like everybody else in that show is a G. Everybody else in that TV show Cobra Kai is like, well, most people in that show, they're solid dudes. But this character in particular, Dimitri, there was a scene where he was with his girlfriend, right? And he was talking about how yeah, he was saying like she was even saying like, hey, like we don't even gotta link up today. You gotta train for this karate tournament and all this stuff. And he was like, no, I'm good. I think this is as far as I'm gonna go in the tournament. Like, I don't think I'm gonna win. And then it's funny because she kind of says like, I'm not with this loser shit. Like, that's so gross. Like, she kind of calls him out and says he's a loser for that. And then, it's kind of she kind of gives him this whole little speech about like how if he doesn't believe in, she believes in him, but if he doesn't believe in himself, then it doesn't matter what she believes in. He has to believe in himself, right? And to the point, and why the victim mentality is ruining your life, is because you choose to think so little of yourself. You're willing to put the blame on other things on why you're not successful. See, the character of Dimitri is the perfect example of someone who just refuses to just try harder. He just refuses. He thinks that this is his like his cap. Like this is as far as he's gonna go, right? And he chooses to blame other people for why he's not in the position for. He chooses to blame people, and he's okay with it. He's okay with being average. He chooses to blame people for why he's not successful. He's actually the perfect example of like what you shouldn't be as a man. Like Dimitri, if you go do your research on the show Cobra Kai, look at the character Dimitri. He is the perfect example of what you don't want to be. Like he's the perfect example of like the fixed mindset, victim mentality, loser type of character. These you kind of start to see he has a little bit more character development as the show goes on, but like he is the perfect example of like what you don't want to be. He blames other people for why he's not successful. He doesn't think much of himself. He thinks his potential is at a limit. Like he's capped out. Like he feels like he feels like he is not able to reach his full potential. He's got a fixed mindset, right? And he blames other people for why he's not in where he's supposed to be. Like he's the perfect example of what you don't want to be. So don't be a loser. So stop embracing the victim mentality and embrace the victor mentality, because I feel like why not? Like why would you want to have a victim mentality? I think having a victim mentality is probably one of the stupidest things you could ever do. You're just why would you set yourself up for failure? Like, don't you want to win? Isn't that the whole point of life? Like, you got to stop having this like loser mentality. It's not, there's nothing cool about it. It's not cool. You got to recreate yourself. You got to get jacked, to get in shape. That's the best way to prove that to yourself that you can change, right? Getting jacked is like when you become jacked, you become like a different person, because you see the before and after from the transformation. When you're jacked, you're like a totally different person. You're a completely different person than you were before because of the man that you became doing all the reps and sets, right? And it defeats that victim mentality. Then you believe that you can change, you do have an opportunity, and you can be a winner in other areas of your life, right? So stop being a loser and embrace the victor mentality. I feel like that's the only way to go. Like you might as well play the cards that you were dealt with and just try your best to win, right? There's someone out there who's had it worse than you, who's busier than you, and still finding a chance to make it happen. There's someone who's in a worse position who's making it happen, who's dealt worse cards and is making it happen. So what really, it's just about embracing the cards that you were dealt with and just, fighting to the bitter end, man. That's the only way. It's the only way. Instead of like complaining and crying and pointing the finger, take control for what you have control over. And I feel like once you do that, your whole life will change. But anyway, that's all from me today. If you like this video, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Send this to someone who needs to hear it. And remember, there's nothing enlightening about playing small. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.